They thought they had ruined her life on the day they forced Nkem to marry the nobody from the mud house at the edge of the village. Even the drummers joked that she was walking to her funeral. But years later, when one hidden truth came to light, the same people who mocked her were lining up at her gate, begging the man they once despised to save them. This is a story about how greed can blind parents until they sell the very child sent to save them. It is about a young woman forced into a village marriage she never wanted, only to discover that the useless man she despised carried a secret that would shake her entire family. It shows how real love is tested, not when pockets are full, but when plates are empty. In the village of Umuokwu, where red earth stains everything it touches and gossip travels faster than water, poverty is not just a condition, it is a disease people will do anything to escape. The women gather at the stream with empty buckets and full mouths, trading stories about who married well and who married shame. The men sit under the mango tree, spitting palm wine and calculating bride prices like merchants counting cowries. Everyone wants to climb, and marriage is the ladder most families cling to. In one of the compounds near the center of this restless village lives a man named Mr. Okafor. Loud voice, sharp tongue, shoulders always thrown back like he owns the air itself. He is a trader, buys yams from farmers, resells them in town, talks big about connections and business sense. His neighbors call him Oga because he insists on it. But what they don't see is the rot beneath the noise. Mr. Okafor gambles. He drinks. He borrows money from men who do not forget debts, then hides behind his title and his bluster when they come knocking. Living in that same compound, trapped between her father's pride and her stepmother's bitterness, is Nkem. 21 years old, bright eyes that have read every book the village school could lend her. Fingers stained with ink from notes she takes in the margins, because paper is expensive and dreams are not. She finished secondary school 2 years ago with scores high enough to make the teachers whisper, "That girl could go far." But Mr. Okafor refused to let her continue. "Why waste money on a girl's education?" he said, loud enough for the whole compound to hear. "She will marry and carry another man's name. Let that man pay for her school if he wants a wife who can read." So Nkem stays. She fetches water. She sweeps the compound. She cooks for a father who never thanks her and a stepmother who treats her like borrowed property. At night she lights a candle and reads her old school books, whispering lessons to herself like prayers, trying to keep her mind from rusting. One night she hears voices rising from the backyard, sharp, desperate. She creeps to the window and peers through the wooden slats. Her father is there, standing under the pawpaw tree, hands up like a man begging for mercy. In front of him stands a stranger, tall, thin, dressed in cheap trousers and a faded shirt. But his face is hard. His voice is harder. "Okafor, I am tired of your excuses. You owe me 60,000 naira. 60, and you have been running from me for 4 months like a thief." Mr. Okafor's voice is smaller now, stripped of its usual thunder. "Oga, please. Business is slow. Just give me 2 more weeks." 2 more weeks. The man steps closer, close enough that Nkem can see the anger in his jaw. "You said that last month, and the month before. Listen to me carefully. If I do not see my money by the end of this week, I will come to this compound in the afternoon when everyone is watching. I will disgrace you in front of your neighbors, in front of the elders, in front of your own wife. Do you understand?" Her father nods. The man leaves. Mr. Okafor stands there for a long time, staring at the ground, breathing hard. Nkem pulls back from the window, heart pounding. She has always known her father was proud and loud, but she did not know he was drowning. A week passes. The creditor does not return, but something else does. Whispers. The village elders, 3 old men with walking sticks and voices like judgment, arrive at the compound one afternoon. They sit with Mr. Okafor under the mango tree, speaking in low tones, while Auntie Rose, and Kem's stepmother, brings cola and bitter cola on a tray she never cleans properly. And Kem is grinding pepper nearby, close enough to hear pieces of the conversation. "There is a young man," one elder says. "Chima, from the outskirts. He sent word through his uncle. He is asking for your daughter's hand." Mr. Okafor leans forward. "Chima? The carpenter. The one who lives in that mud house past the cassava farm." "Yes, that one." Auntie Rose laughs, sharp, bitter, like cassava peel. "That man, that nobody, he has nothing. Not even a proper roof." The second elder clears his throat. "He is a quiet man, respectful. He farms small. He builds furniture. He is not rich, but he is not useless." Mr. Okafor looks at the ground, calculating. And Kem sees it in his face, the gears turning, the shame of debt pressing on his chest. He does not care about Chima's character. He cares about escape. "How soon can this be done?" her father asks. The elders exchange glances. If both families agree, the traditional rites can happen within 2 months. And Kem drops the pestle. It clatters against the stone. Everyone turns to look at her. She opens her mouth, but no sound comes. Her father's eyes find hers across the compound, and in them she sees no love, only relief. That night she gathers her courage and kneels in front of him. "Papa, please, I am not ready. I do not even know this man. Let me wait. Let me try to work in town, maybe find something." He slaps the table so hard the kerosene lamp jumps. A hungry man does not argue with the hand that brings food. You will marry him. This is not about love in Kem. This is about survival. Do you understand? Survival. Auntie Rose steps forward, arms folded across her chest like a gate. "You are ungrateful. Do you know how much we suffered to raise you? How much rice you ate? How many school fees we paid when we could have used that money for something else? Now a man wants you, and you want to complain. Hey, who do you think you are?" And Kem's throat tightens. Tears burn behind her eyes, but she refuses to let them fall. Not here. Not in front of them. She stands, bows her head, and walks to her room. She closes the door, sits on the edge of her thin mattress, and holds her old schoolbooks against her chest like a shield. She whispers into the darkness, voice shaking. "God, if you see me at all, don't abandon me in a strange man's house. I don't know what I did to deserve this, but please, don't let me disappear." The wedding preparations are rushed. No time for proper introductions. No time for Nkem to meet Chima and learn his voice or his habits. The bride price is discussed in whispers, and Nkem hears from the kitchen that it was lower than usual. Her father accepted quickly, too quickly, because he needed the money yesterday. The village women whisper at the stream. Okafor sold his daughter to pay his shame. The men under the mango tree shake their heads. That girl is walking into suffering. On the day of the traditional ceremony, the compound is silent. No ululation, no dancing aunties. Just a few relatives, a hired drummer who looks bored, and a photographer who takes pictures like he is documenting a funeral. Nkem wears a borrowed coral bead necklace and a wrapper that does not fit her properly. Her face is painted with neutral traditional makeup, but her eyes are hollow. Chima stands across from her during the ceremony. He is tall, lean. His face is calm, unreadable. He does not smile, but he does not look cruel either. When the elder asks him to present the dowry items, he does so quietly, without the boasting most grooms bring. And Cam barely looks at him. She is somewhere else, inside herself, behind walls she built as soon as her father said the word, marry. When it is time to leave her father's house, no one cries. Auntie Rose waves from the doorway like she is waving goodbye to a departing bus. Mr. Okafor gives her a stiff hug and whispers in her ear, "Behave yourself. Do not disgrace me." That is the last thing her father says to her. As she walks down the dusty path toward Chima's compound on the edge of the village, children run alongside her, laughing, throwing stones at the goats. Someone shouts from a doorway, "Nkem is going to the mud house. God help her." The laughter follows her like flies. She does not turn around. She keeps walking, one foot in front of the other, clutching a small bag with her few belongings, 2 wrappers, a comb, a bar of soap, and her school books. She looks up once at the man walking ahead of her, the man who is now called her husband, and wonders if this is where her life ends, or if there is something waiting for her that she cannot yet see. The camera, if there were one, would linger on her face in this moment. No joy, no hope, only quiet resignation and a fear so deep it has no name. Before we dive in, can I ask you for a quick favor? This story took days of effort, writing, recording, editing, every moment crafted with care. Supporting me doesn't cost a thing, but it means the world. So if you enjoy what you're seeing, tap that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and drop a comment with your location. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from. I read every single one, and I'll be shouting out some of you in the next video. All right, let's get back to the story. The compound Nkem arrives at is nothing like what the gossips described. Yes, it is small. Yes, the house is built with mud bricks and a zinc roof that has seen better years. But it is not a ruin. The yard is swept clean. The walls are freshly painted with red earth mixed with water, giving them a warm, earthy glow. There is a small workshop to the side, tools hanging neatly on hooks, wood shavings piled in one corner. Beyond the house is a cassava farm, not large, but tended with care. And everywhere, there is peace. No shouting, no insults flying through windows, no smell of stale palm wine and regret. Just the sound of birds settling in the trees and the faint hum of evening insects waking up. Nkem stands at the threshold, hesitant, waiting for the trap to reveal itself. Chima walks ahead, sets her bag down near the door, and calls softly, "Mama, she is here." From inside the house comes a woman, older, slower, but with a face that still holds kindness, like a lamp holds light. This is Mama Ebere, Chima's widowed mother. She is not tall, not loud, not decorated with gold or heavy wrappers. She wears a simple faded blouse and a wrapper tied at her waist, and her smile is real. She opens her arms. "My daughter, welcome." Nkem does not know what to do with those words. My daughter, not the girl my son bought, not another mouth to feed, just daughter. She steps forward stiffly, and Mama Ebere pulls her into a brief, warm hug that smells like firewood smoke and shea butter. "You must be tired," the older woman says. "Come, sit. Let me bring you water and food." Nkem sits on a low stool in the small front room. The floor is swept smooth. There is a woven mat, a wooden bench, a small table with a kerosene lamp. Everything is simple but cared for. Mama Ebere brings her a cup of cool water and a plate of jollof rice with fried fish, still warm. Nkem stares at it. Her stepmother never served her first. Ever. "Eat, my daughter. You are home now." Nkem picks up the spoon slowly, takes a bite, and almost cries. Not because the food is extraordinary, It is simple village cooking, but because no one is yelling at her, no one is snatching it away, no one is reminding her she does not deserve it. That night she is shown to a small room at the back of the house. Chima does not follow her. He sleeps on a mat in the front room, near the doorway, giving her space. The room has a proper mattress. Thin, yes, but proper, covered with a clean wrapper. There is a small wooden box for her things, a curtain instead of a door, and silence. Nkem lies down, staring at the ceiling. Her body does not know how to rest. She has spent her whole life braced for the next insult, the next slap, the next demand. But here, there is nothing, just quiet, just the sound of crickets and her own breathing. She closes her eyes and waits for the other shoe to drop. Days pass. Nkem wakes early, helps fetch water from the borehole, cooks with Mama Ebere, sweeps the compound. Chima rises before the sun, works in his small carpentry workshop, then heads to the farm. He does not shout orders at her. He does not grab her wrist or force her into corners. When he speaks, his voice is low, steady, almost gentle. She is suspicious, waiting, watching. One morning, she is grinding pepper outside when a group of young men pass by on their way to the stream. They see Chima in the workshop, bent over a half-finished stool, and one of them shouts, "Hey, Chima the pauper carpenter, still making stools for people who will never pay you." Another joins in, louder. "I heard you married that Okafor girl, the one her father used to settle his debt. Ah, you are a kind man, oh, taking rubbish from rich people's compound." They laugh. Nkem's hands freeze on the grinding stone. Anger rises in her chest, not for herself, but for him. She expects Chima to curse at them, to throw something, to defend himself with pride the way men do. But he does not. He straightens up slowly, wipes his hands on his trousers, and looks at them with calm, unshaken eyes. Then he glances at Nkem, sees the shame and confusion on her face, and walks over to her. He speaks quietly, just for her. "Their laughter cannot build a house. Do not let it break your heart." Then he goes back to his work. Nkem stares at him. She does not understand this man. Where is the bitterness? Where is the rage? How can someone who is mocked daily carry himself like he is untouchable? That evening, after Mama Ebere has gone to bed, Nkem sits outside under the stars, trying to make sense of her new life. Chima comes out, sits a respectful distance away, and begins writing in a thick notebook by the light of a small lantern. She watches him from the corner of her eye. His handwriting is neat, his focus is sharp. And beside him on the mat is a smartphone, not the cheap kind sold in the market, but something slightly better. Something that does not quite fit the image of a poor carpenter. Curiosity finally wins. "What are you writing?" He looks up, surprised that she spoke. Then he smiles, small, brief, like he is deciding how much to share. "Just plans, ideas that don't fit this small room yet." "Plans for what?" "For tomorrow, and the day after that." He closes the notebook gently. "What about you? What are your plans?" The question catches her off guard. No one has ever asked her that. Plans were things men made. Women just survived. She shrugs. "I don't know. I used to want to go to school, maybe study agriculture or business. But that was before." She trails off. Chima watches her for a moment, then nods. Before is not the end. It is just the beginning of a different story. He stands, wishes her good night, and goes inside. Nkem sits there long after he is gone, staring at the notebook he left behind, wondering what kind of man writes plans in a mud house. The next Sunday, a group of Chima's relatives visit. Loud aunties in bright wrappers, uncles with bellies and opinions. They sit under the mango tree in the compound, eating pounded yam and a goosey soup, talking over each other. One of the aunties, a sharp-faced woman with too much powder on her cheeks, leans toward Nkem and says loudly, "So, my dear, when are you giving us a child? It has been almost 2 weeks now. Are you lazy, or is my nephew not doing his job?" The others laugh. Nkem's face burns. She looks down at her plate, wanting to disappear. Before she can respond, Chima's voice cuts through the noise. "Auntie, Nkem is my wife, not your project. When we are ready, you will know. Until then, your soup is getting cold." The laughter stops. The auntie purses her lips, offended. But Chima does not look away. He holds her gaze until she picks up her spoon and eats in silence. Later, when the relatives are gone, and Nkem is washing dishes at the back of the house, Mama Ebere comes to stand beside her. "My son is not like other men," the older woman says quietly. "He does not speak much, but when he speaks, he means it. Do not mistake his silence for weakness, and do not mistake his kindness for foolishness." Nkem rinses a plate, her hands shaking slightly. "Why did he choose me? He does not even know me." Mama Ebere smiles, sad and knowing. Maybe he knows what it feels like to be chosen for the wrong reasons. Maybe he wanted to give someone a choice, even if she did not know she was choosing. That night, Nkem lies on her mattress, staring at the ceiling again. But this time, the fear is smaller. The confusion is still there, but beneath it, something else is growing. Something she does not have a name for yet. One evening, Chima leaves for town, saying he has a meeting with a supplier about wood. He is gone overnight. The next morning, Nkem is cleaning the small front room when she sees his phone on the table. He forgot it. She picks it up, meaning to put it somewhere safe, when the screen lights up with a notification. A bank alert. Her eyes catch the number, N450,000. Transferred. In, not out. Her heart stops. She stares at the screen. Poor carpenters do not receive transfers like that. Not in one lump. Not from a company called Green Roots Agrotech LT. Another notification pops up. An email. The preview shows his name, Chima Okafor, listed as co-founder. Nkem's hands start to shake. She puts the phone down like it might bite her. Her mind spins. Co-founder, Agrotech. Bank transfers that could feed a family for months. Who is this man? She does not snoop further. She is not that person. But the question burns inside her like a coal she cannot spit out. When Chima returns that evening, dusty and tired, she says nothing. She watches him, studies him, notices the way he calculates measurements in his head faster than the market traders. The way he speaks, educated, careful, like someone who once lived in a different world. The next day, she cannot hold it anymore. She goes to Mama Ebere while they are peeling cassava together. "Mama, who is Chima? Really?" The older woman's hands slow. She does not look up. "He is my son. I know that. But there are things. Money. A company. He is not just a carpenter, is he?" Mama Ebere sighs, sets down her knife. "No, he is not. Then why does he live like this?" The old woman looks at her finally, eyes full of old pain. "Because the city almost destroyed him. He built something big with people he thought were his friends. But when money came, they turned into strangers. His fiancée, the woman he loved, only wanted him after she saw his bank account. His relatives tried to control every decision. He walked away from all of it, came back here, chose peace over poison." Nkem feels the ground shift beneath her. "And me? Did he know I was being forced?" "No. He only asked the elders to introduce him to a good, humble girl from the village. He did not know about your father's debt. He did not know you were being sold. And Kem's chest tightens. Anger, hurt, confusion, relief. All of it tangled together. When Chima comes home that night, she is waiting for him outside. He sees her face and stops. "You know," he says quietly. Not a question. "I saw the phone, the money, the company name." He nods slowly, sits on the bench, and gestures for her to sit beside him. She does not move at first, then finally sits, keeping distance between them. "I should have told you," he begins. "I wanted to, but I did not know how. I came back to this village to hide from people who only saw money when they looked at me. I wanted to see if someone could just see me, not what I have, just me. And me?" And Kem's voice cracks. "You think I chose you? I was sold, Chima. Sold. My father used me to pay his debts. You want honesty? Here it is. I did not want to marry you. I did not want to marry anyone. I wanted school. I wanted a choice." He looks at her, pain in his eyes. "I know, and I am sorry. I did not know the full story. I only knew your father had a daughter, and the elders said she was kind and quiet. I thought maybe we could both start again." Tears spill down in Kem's face. "Everyone keeps making decisions around me. Everyone. My father, the elders, even you, Chima, even you, keeping secrets, deciding what I should and shouldn't know." He bows his head. "You are right. I was wrong. No more secrets in Kem. I swear it. Ask me anything. I will tell you the truth, even if it is ugly." They sit in silence for a long time. The night presses around them, thick and heavy. Finally, Nkem speaks, voice small. "Do you think we can start again?" "Honestly this time." Chima looks at her. "I think we have to, because I cannot go back to pretending, and neither can you." She nods. "It is not forgiveness yet, but it is the beginning of something that might, one day, look like trust. If you believe trust is built when the whole truth finally sits on the table, tap like and tell me in the comments, would you forgive Chima at this point? Time moves differently in Umokwu. Days blur into weeks, measured not by clocks, but by the rhythm of farming, market days, and evening prayers. Nkem begins to find her place in Chima's house, not as a decoration or a servant, but as someone with hands and a mind that can build things. She starts taking some of Chima's finished work, stools, small shelves, carved spoons, to the village market on Saturdays. At first, people mock her. Nkem, the carpenter's wife, selling firewood furniture. But slowly, grudgingly, they admit the work is strong, the joints are tight, the wood is smooth. One woman buys a stool for her kitchen, then another buys a shelf. Word spreads. Nkem surprises herself. She is good at this, talking to customers, negotiating prices, remembering who likes what. She keeps a small notebook where she tracks sales, just like Chima keeps his plans. Mama Ebere watches her with quiet pride, the way a gardener watches a seed break through the soil. But peace is a fragile thing in a village where everyone watches everyone else. One Saturday, as Nkem is arranging the furniture display under the market's mango tree, a shiny black car pulls up, too clean for village roads, too expensive for village people. The engine hum makes heads turn. Children run to touch the doors. Women pause mid-haggle to stare. From the car steps Tunde, tall, loud, dressed in a tight-fitting shirt with an American brand name, jeans that still have the store crease, and sunglasses that cost more than a month's rent. His phone is the latest model. His shoes have never touched red earth before today. He looks like what the village calls a made man, Someone who made it in the city and came back to remind everyone who didn't. He scans the market, sees Nkem, and his eyes widen. He walks toward her, slow and deliberate, loud enough that everyone within hearing distance stops to listen. Nkem Okafor, is that really you? She looks up, recognizes him after a moment. Tunde. They were in the same secondary school class years ago. He used to sit in the back, talking about leaving this backward village and making millions in Lagos. Looks like he kept his promise, or at least looks like he wants people to think he did. Tunde, she says carefully. It has been a long time. He laughs, too loud, too performative. A long time. Nkem, I left for the city 5 years ago, and look at me now. But you... He looks around at the furniture, the market, her simple wrapper and blouse. You are here, selling stools. Heat rises in her chest. She keeps her voice level. I am helping my husband. He is a carpenter. Your husband? Tunde's eyebrows shoot up. He leans closer, voice dropping to a stage whisper that everyone can still hear. Wait, you married that poor carpenter? Chima? The one who lives in the mud house past the cassava farm? Murmurs ripple through the market. Nkem feels every eye on her. Yes, she says simply. Tunde shakes his head, laughing again, but this time there is pity in it, or something that wants to look like pity. Ah, Nkem, what happened to you? You were so sharp in school, so smart, and now you are here, married to a nobody, selling furniture like a market woman. This is what your father did to you. She does not answer. She turns back to her display, arranging a shelf she has already arranged 3 times. Tunde does not leave. He leans against a post, arms folded. Listen, I am in town for a few days. I run an online business now, importing, exporting, crypto trading, all of that. I make money while I sleep, you understand? I have connections. I could help you. Get you a job in Lagos, something real. You are too smart to waste away here. I am fine, Nkem says quietly. Fine? He laughs. Fine is not good enough for someone like you. Think about it. My number has not changed. Call me when you are ready to stop pretending this is the life you want. He walks away, phone already pressed to his ear, talking loudly about deals and investments. The market buzzes with whispers. Nkem hears fragments. Did you see that car? Tunde is doing well, oh. That girl should have married him instead. She packs up her things early that day and walks home in silence. That evening, Chima notices she is quiet. He does not push. But later, as they sit outside after dinner, he asks gently, Did something happen today? She hesitates, then tells him about Tunde. Not everything, just that he was showing off, that he offered to help her. She does not mention the part where Tunde called Chima a nobody. She does not want to hurt him. But Chima is not stupid. And you? What did you say? I said I was fine. He watches her carefully. But are you? Fine? Nkem does not answer right away. The question is too big. Is she fine? She has food. She has shelter. She has a husband who does not hit her. But is that all life is supposed to be? Survival? I do not know, she finally admits. Chima nods slowly. That is honest. I can work with honest. Days pass. Tunde does not leave. He lingers in the village, visiting relatives, driving his shiny car to the market, making sure everyone sees him. And every time he sees Nkem, he finds a way to talk to her, never directly, always in passing, always loud enough for others to hear. Nkem, when you are tired of this small life, come find me. I can help you become someone. One afternoon, he catches her alone near a shop, away from the main crowd. His voice is softer now, almost sincere. Nkem, I am serious. You do not belong here. I can take you to Lagos, get you a job in my office, maybe even train you in the business. You can send money back to your family, live in a real house, go to school if you want. You are wasting your life here. I'm married, Tunde. Married? He laughs bitterly. Married to what? A man with a mud house and a saw? Come on, you were forced into that. Everyone knows your father sold you to pay his debts. That is not a real marriage. That is slavery. His words hit like stones. Because he is not entirely wrong. She was forced. She did not choose this. But something in her bristles. Even if that is true, it is my life, not yours. Your life? He steps closer, voice lowering. Nkem, I cared about you in school. I still do. If you stay here, you will become like every other village woman, pregnant, poor, and invisible. Is that what you want? She looks at him, really looks at him. The expensive clothes, the smooth words, the way he dangles the city like bait. And she realizes something. He is not offering her freedom. He is offering her a different cage. I need to go, she says, stepping back. Think about it, he calls after her. I'm staying at my uncle's house. When you are ready to stop lying to yourself, come find me. That night, Nkem kneels beside her mat and prays. Not the prayer she was taught, long, formal, recited, but raw, honest words. God, I am tired. I'm tired of being treated like property. Tired of being told what I am worth. Tired of people deciding my life for me. I do not know if staying here is right or if leaving is right. I just want to be able to breathe. The next day, Tunde sends messages through villagers, small gifts, a wrapper, a headscarf, a bar of soap that smells like the city. Nkem refuses them all, but the temptation does not come from the gifts. It comes from the promise behind them. You could be more than this. She starts asking Chima subtle questions. Did you ever regret leaving the city? He looks up from the stool he is sanding. Every day, and never. That does not make sense. He smiles. Yes, it does. I regret the betrayal. I regret the pain. But I do not regret choosing peace. Regret and peace can live in the same house, Nkem. You just have to decide which one gets the bigger room. His words sit in her chest, heavy and warm. One evening, Mama Ebere calls her to sit on the bench outside. The older woman does not speak right away. She just watches the sun set, painting the sky orange and purple. Finally, she says, I was like you once. My father married me to Chima's father when I was 16. I did not want it. I cried for months. But slowly, after respect came, love followed. Not because my husband was perfect, but because he saw me. Not my body, not my cooking. Me. She turns to Nkem. I see that boy, Tunde. I hear his words. They sound sweet because they promise shortcuts. But shortcuts cost your soul, my daughter. Be careful which doors you walk through. Some doors close behind you, and you cannot go back. Nkem feels tears rise. But what if this is not the life I am supposed to have? What if I am supposed to be more? Mama Ebere takes her hand. You are already more. You just have not seen it yet. The breaking point comes on a Sunday. Tunde finds Nkem at the borehole, filling her bucket. No one else is around. He walks up, confident, smiling. I am leaving tomorrow, he says. Going back to Lagos. This is your last chance, Nkem. Come with me. I have space in my flat. I can take care of your father's debts. I can give you the life you deserve. She stares at him. And what would you want in return? He hesitates, just for a second. Nothing you would not want to give. That pause, that tiny, greedy pause, tells her everything. She sets down her bucket. Her voice is calm, but it carries weight. Tundi, I do not know what my future looks like, but I know this. I will not sell myself twice. My father sold me once. I will not do it again, not for money, not for the city, not for you. His face hardens. You are making a mistake. Maybe, but it will be my mistake, not yours. She picks up her bucket and walks past him. He calls after her. You will regret this. You will watch me succeed while you rot in that mud house. She does not turn around. By the time she reaches the compound, her hands are shaking. But not from fear, from something else, something like power. Like finally, for the first time in her life, she made a choice that was hers alone. Word spreads fast. By evening, half the village knows Inkem publicly rejected Tunde. Reactions are split. Some women whisper, that girl is a fool. She chose poverty over prosperity. Others nod quietly, remembering their own crossroads, their own moments of choosing dignity over shortcuts. The next morning, Mr. Okafor shows up at Chima's compound. He is angry, face red, voice loud, fists clenched. He does not knock. He storms into the yard like he owns it. Nkem, come out here. She steps outside, Chima and Mama Ebere behind her. Papa, she says quietly. Do not papa me. He points at her like she is a child who stole from the offering bowl. I heard what you did. You chased away Tundi. A man with money, a man with connections, a man who could have helped this family. Are you mad? Do you know how much I still owe? Do you know what shame I am carrying? Chima steps forward. Olga, with respect, Inkem is my wife now. What happens in this compound is between us. Mr. Okafor turns on him, sneering. You, a carpenter, you think because you married her, you own her. I raised that girl. I fed her. You sold her, Chima says calmly. You sold her to pay your debts. Let us not pretend this was about love. The silence that follows is sharp enough to cut. Mr. Okafor's mouth opens and closes. For once, he has no words. Inkem steps forward, standing beside Chima. Papa, I am sorry you are in debt. I am sorry you are struggling. But I will not destroy myself to save you. Not anymore. Her father stares at her like she has become a stranger. Then he spits on the ground, turns and walks away. You are no daughter of mine, he mutters. The words should hurt, and they do, but they also set her free. That night Inkem sits outside under the stars. Chima joins her, silent for a long time. Then he says, You were brave today. I was terrified. Bravery is not the absence of fear. It is doing the right thing even when you are shaking. She looks at him. How do you always know what to say? He laughs, soft, genuine. I do not. I just say what I wish someone had said to me when I was drowning. She reaches out, hesitates, then takes his hand. It is the first time she has touched him willingly. His fingers close around hers, warm, steady, safe. They sit like that for a long time. Two people who were forced together, now choosing to stay. If you believe some doors, no matter how shiny, must be closed to keep your soul safe, hit the like button and share this with someone who needs that reminder. Weeks pass. The air in Umukwu shifts as the dry season deepens. Dust rises from every footstep. The sun burns hotter. And in Mr. Okafor's compound, the cracks are widening. His debts are no longer whispers. They are shouts. Creditors come to his door in daylight now, unashamed, demanding payment. Auntie Rose screams at him behind closed doors. Neighbors gather at the fence, pretending to sweep while they listen to the chaos inside. But in Chima's compound, life continues quietly. Nkem is no longer just surviving, she is learning. Chima teaches her how to read measurements, how to calculate profit margins, how to negotiate with suppliers who try to cheat because she is a woman. She is sharp, quick, and he sees it. One afternoon he tells her, "I have to go to the city tomorrow. I will be gone for 2 days." "What for?" she asks. "Business. There is a meeting I cannot miss." She nods, does not push. But that evening, as he is packing a small bag, he leaves his phone on the table. She is washing dishes in the back when she hears it ring. She glances over. The screen lights up. A bank alert. N7 80,000. Transferred in. Her heart skips. She dries her hands, walks over, and this time she does not look away. She picks up the phone. Another notification, an email. The subject line reads, "Green Roots Agrotech Quarterly Report, Co-Founder Review." She scrolls slightly, just enough to see his name listed clearly. Chima Ebere Nwankwo, Co-Founder and Operations Director. Her hands tremble. She sets the phone down carefully, mind racing. Co-founder, not assistant, not employee. Co-founder, a man with authority, with wealth, with plans. And he is living in a mud house, pretending to be nobody. Why? That night she cannot sleep. She stares at the ceiling, piecing together everything she has seen. The smartphone, the notebook full of plans, the way he calculates things too fast, the quiet confidence, the education in his speech. When he returns 2 days later, dusty and tired, she is waiting for him outside. She does not beat around the bush. "I saw the phone," she says. "I saw the money. I saw the company name, Green Roots Agrotech. You are not just a co-founder, are you? You are part of something big." Chima stops. He looks at her for a long moment, then nods slowly. "Yes. And you did not tell me. I did not know how. Try now." He sets down his bag, sits on the bench, and gestures for her to sit. She does, arms folded, waiting. He takes a deep breath. "I built that company with 2 friends from university. We started small, researching better ways for rural farmers to process crops, store them, sell them. We got funding. We grew. Fast, too fast. Money came and everything changed." He pauses, looking at his hands. "My business partners started cutting corners, lying to farmers, inflating prices. I tried to stop them. They pushed me out of daily operations. My fiancée, the woman I thought I would marry, only loved me when the bank account was full. When I walked away from the corruption, she left. My own relatives showed up, demanding money, trying to control my decisions. I realized I was surrounded by people who saw me as a bank, not a person." His voice cracks slightly. "So I left. I came back here. I gave up my title, my office, my apartment. I kept my shares in the company, but stepped back from the spotlight. I wanted to see if anyone could love me when I was just me. Not my money, just me." And Kem listens, heart pounding. "And me? Did you know I was being forced?" "No." His voice is firm. "I swear to you, Kem, I only asked the elders to introduce me to someone from the village, someone humble, someone real. I did not know about your father's debts. I did not know you were being sold." She feels tears rising. "Everyone has decided things for me, Chima. Everyone. My father, the elders, even you, keeping this secret, deciding I did not need to know the truth." "You are right," he says quietly. "I was wrong. I was protecting myself, and I hurt you in the process. I'm sorry." She wipes her eyes, angry and sad and confused all at once. "How do I trust you now? How do I know there are not more secrets?" He meets her gaze. "You cannot. Not yet. Trust is built with time. But I can promise you this. No more lies. No more hiding. Ask me anything, Nkem. Anything. I will tell you the truth, even if it makes you hate me. She takes a shaky breath. Why did you come back to the village if you could have anything in the city? Why live like this? Because having everything felt like having nothing. I was rich and empty. Here I am poor and free, or at least I was trying to be. She looks at him, really looks at him. The tiredness in his eyes, the weight he carries, the loneliness. I do not hate you, she says finally, but I am angry, and I am scared, because I was just starting to feel safe, and now I do not know what is real anymore. This is real, he says, gesturing to the compound. The workshop, the stars above them. This life, this work. Me sitting here with you, trying to be honest. That is real. The money is just a tool. It does not define me. At least I hope it does not. They sit in silence. The night presses around them, thick with unspoken things. Finally, Nkem speaks. If we are going to do this, if we are going to try to make this marriage real, then no more secrets. I do not care if the truth is ugly. I would rather know the beast than fear the shadow. Chima nods. Agreed. And I want to know about Green Roots, what it does, where it is going. If you are part of something that could change things, I want to understand it. Not because I want the money, because I want to know who you are. He looks at her, something like hope lighting his face. I can do that. I can show you everything. She nods. It is not forgiveness yet, but it is a bridge, fragile, uncertain, but there. That night she lies on her mat, staring at the ceiling again. But this time the fear is smaller. The confusion is still there, but beneath it, something else is growing. Something that might, one day, look like trust. The next morning, Mama Ebere finds Nkem outside, grinding pepper for breakfast. The older woman sits beside her, silent for a moment. You know now, she says quietly. Yes. And you are still here? Yes. Mama Ebere smiles. Then maybe you are beginning to see what I see. A man who is more than his money. A woman who is more than her past. Nkem does not respond. She just keeps grinding, the stone moving in steady circles, the pepper turning into paste. But later that day, when Chima shows her a folder of documents, plans for Green Roots expansion, contracts with farmers, proposals for processing plants in rural communities, she sits beside him and reads every word. She asks questions. He answers. She challenges his ideas. He listens. And slowly, carefully, they begin to build something that was never there before. Partnership. One evening, as they sit outside under the mango tree, Chima says, "You are brilliant, you know that." She laughs. "I read secondary school textbooks by candlelight. That is not brilliance, that is stubbornness." "Same thing," he says, smiling. "Brilliance is just stubbornness that refuses to quit." She looks at him, and for the first time since this marriage began, she feels something warm and unfamiliar in her chest. Not love, not yet, but hope. If you believe trust is built when the whole truth finally sits on the table, tap like and tell me in the comments. Would you forgive Chima at this point? But while hope is growing in Chima's compound, disaster is brewing in Mr. Okafor's house. The creditors are circling now, no longer content with threats. They want land, they want collateral, they want blood if they have to take it. One evening, the same thin man from months ago returns, but this time he is not alone. He brings two others, thick-necked, silent men who stand at the gate like walls. Auntie Rose sees them first and screams for her husband. Mr. Okafor comes out, shoulders hunched, voice smaller than usual. "Oga, please, just one more week." "No more weeks," the man says coldly. You have exhausted my patience. I want the land documents for your father's plot, the one near the stream. You will sign it over to me by the end of this month, or I will take you to court and disgrace you publicly. But that land is all I have left. It is the only thing. Then you should have thought about that before you gambled my money away like a fool. The men leave. Auntie Rose collapses on the floor, wailing. We are finished. Finished. They will take everything, and we will sleep on the street like beggars. Mr. Okafor paces the compound, muttering, sweating. His mind is racing. He remembers the whispers, the rumors. People are saying Chima is not as poor as he looks. Someone saw him in town, talking to men in suits. Someone else heard he is connected to some big company. An idea, dark, desperate, greedy, takes root in Mr. Okafor's mind. If my daughter is married to a man with money, maybe I can use that. The next day, he visits Nkem and Chima. He arrives in the afternoon, bringing a small bag of rice as a gift. His smile is too wide. His voice is too friendly. My daughter. My son-in-law. How are you both? I was just thinking about you. Nkem stands in the doorway, arms folded, eyes wary. Chima comes out, polite but distant. Oga, welcome. What brings you here? Mr. Okafor sits without being invited, wiping sweat from his forehead with a dirty handkerchief. Ah, you know, family visits. Family. I just wanted to see how my daughter is doing. Nkem says nothing. Actually, Mr. Okafor continues, his tone shifting to something more serious. I came to ask for a small favor. You see, there are some land documents I need help with. Just small paperwork. Some people are trying to claim land that belongs to our family, and I need someone trustworthy to witness the papers. Just a signature, nothing big. Chima's eyes narrow. What kind of papers? Ah, just transfer of title. You know how these village disputes are. If a man like you, educated, respected, signs as witness, it will carry weight. Nkem steps forward. Papa, why do you need witnesses for land documents? And why now? Her father's smile tightens. It is complicated, my daughter. You would not understand these things. Try me. His face hardens. Nkem, I am your father. I am asking for a simple favor. Is that too much? Chima stands. Oga, I do not sign papers I have not read. If you need help, bring the documents. Let me see them first. Then we will talk. Mr. Okafor's jaw clenches. He sees he is not getting what he came for. He stands, anger flashing in his eyes. So this is how it is. I raise you. I marry you into a home, and now you turn your back on me. You did not marry me into a home, Nkem says quietly. You sold me to pay your debts. The words hang in the air like smoke. Mr. Okafor's face twists. You ungrateful. Oga, Chima interrupts, voice calm but firm. I think it is time for you to leave. Her father stares at them both, then turns and walks away, muttering curses under his breath. That evening, Auntie Rose arrives. She is louder, more desperate. She does not ask, she demands. Nkem, you must talk to your husband. We need money, now. Your father is about to lose everything. Do you want us to become beggars? Do you want your family name dragged through the mud? Nkem feels the old guilt rising, the trained response of a daughter who was taught her only value was obedience. But Chima's hand finds hers, steadying her. Auntie, Nkem says carefully, if you need food, I can bring food. If you need help, I can help. But I will not give money to feed gambling debts and bad decisions. Auntie Rose's face goes red. You think you are somebody now? You think because you married a man with a little money, you can disrespect your elders? I am not disrespecting you. I am protecting myself. The woman storms out. shouting loud enough for neighbors to hear. That girl has forgotten where she came from. She has turned into a snake. Later that night, Nkem cannot sleep. She sits outside, knees pulled to her chest, staring at nothing. Chima joins her. You did the right thing. Then why does it feel so wrong? Because guilt is a heavy coat that someone else put on you. It takes time to take it off. She looks at him. What if they really lose everything? What if they end up suffering because of me? They are suffering because of their own choices, Nkem. Not yours. You cannot save people who will not save themselves. She knows he is right, but knowing does not make it hurt less. 2 days later, something happens that changes everything. A group of village women are gathered at the stream, washing clothes and trading gossip. Nkem is there, scrubbing a wrapper on a stone, when she overhears Auntie Rose talking loudly to another woman, too loudly, as if she wants to be heard. That girl, Auntie Rose says, slapping a wet cloth against a rock. She thinks she is too good for us now, but she does not even know the truth. What truth? The other woman asks. Auntie Rose lowers her voice, but not enough. She is not even Okafor's real daughter. Nkem's hands freeze. The wrapper slips into the water. What are you saying? Another woman whispers. It is true, Auntie Rose continues. Venom in her voice. Her real father was Okafor's friend, a poor, useless man who died years ago. Okafor took the man's land and took the girl to cover his tracks. She is nothing but the child of a dead fool. Nkem's heart stops. She cannot move, cannot breathe. Another woman gasps. So the bride price was a scam. Okafor sold a child that was not even his to clear his debts, and now she acts like she is royalty. Laughter ripples through the group. But Nkem does not hear it. She stands slowly, legs shaking, and walks away from the stream, leaving her washing behind. She stumbles down the path, vision blurring, chest tight. Her entire life, every memory, every identity, collapses like a house built on sand. I am not his daughter. I am not his daughter. I am not. She does not realize she is running until she reaches Chima's compound and collapses outside the door. Mama Ebere finds her there, gasping for air, shaking. Nkem! Nkem, what happened? Chima comes running from the workshop. Nkem! She looks up at them, tears streaming down her face. I am not his daughter. I am not Okafor's daughter. He lied. He took me. He used me. Everything was a lie. Chima pulls her into his arms. She fights at first, then breaks, sobbing into his chest. Mama Ebere kneels beside them, hand on Nkem's back, whispering prayers. When the sobs finally slow, Nkem tells them everything she heard. Chima's face goes cold, hard. Mama Ebere's eyes fill with tears. He stole you, the older woman whispers. He stole you and used you like property. Nkem looks at them, broken. Who am I? If I am not his daughter, then who am I? Chima cups her face gently. You are Nkem. You are brilliant. You are brave. You are mine, not because someone sold you, but because you chose to stay. That is who you are. She wants to believe him, but the ground beneath her feels like water. That night she makes a decision. She will confront Mr. Okafor, not to beg, not to cry, but to demand the truth from the man who stole her life. If you believe a parent's greed should never decide a child's destiny, hit the like button and share this video with someone who needs to hear this. The next morning, Nkem walks to her father's compound. She does not bring Chima. This is something she has to do alone. Mr. Okafor is outside, sitting under the mango tree, staring at a pile of papers, land documents, debt notices, threats printed on official letterheads. He looks smaller than she remembers. Older, defeated. Papa, she says. He looks up, surprised. Nkem, what are you doing here? She does not sit. She stands in front of him, arms at her sides, voice steady. I know. His face goes pale. Know what? That I am not your daughter. That my real father was your friend. That you took his land when he died. That you took me to hide what you did. He opens his mouth, closes it, then laughs. Bitter, hollow. Who told you that? Auntie Rose. That woman cannot keep her mouth shut. Is it true? He looks away. Does it matter? Yes. It matters. He sighs, rubs his face. Fine. Yes, it is true. Your father, your real father, was my friend, Chukwudi, a good man. Too good. He lent me money when I needed it, never asked for it back. When he died, he left you and that land. I took both. I needed the land to pay debts. I kept you because, I do not know, maybe guilt, maybe convenience. Nkem's voice cracks. And the marriage, you sold me to pay more debts. He shrugs. You were going to marry someone eventually. At least this way, I got something out of it. The casualness of his words, the complete absence of remorse, hits her like a slap. Why did you never tell me? She whispers. What good would it have done? You were fed. You were clothed. You had a roof. That is more than most. I had a lie. He looks at her finally, eyes empty. In this life in Kem, you either eat or be eaten. I chose to eat. If you are smart, you will do the same. She stares at him, this man who raised her, who fed her, who also sold her like a goat at the market. And she realizes something. He is not evil. He is empty. Hollowed out by greed and fear until there is nothing left inside him but hunger. I forgive you, she says quietly. He blinks, surprised. What? I forgive you, not because you deserve it, but because I refuse to carry your poison in my heart. She turns and walks away. He calls after her, Nkem, wait. But she does not stop. When she returns to Chima's compound, she is not crying. She is not shaking. She is calm, steady, free. Mama Ebere meets her at the door, searches her face. Are you all right? I will be. Chima comes out, sees her, and exhales in relief. What did he say? He admitted everything, and I forgave him. You forgave him? Yes, not for him, for me. Chima pulls her into his arms. You are stronger than anyone I have ever met. She leans into him, closes her eyes. I do not feel strong. That is how you know you are. That night as they sit together, Nkem makes a decision. I want to find out about my real father, Chukwudi. I want to know who he was. Mama Ebere smiles. I knew him. He was kind, honest. He farmed a small plot and sang hymns while he worked. The village loved him. Tears rise in Nkem's eyes. And he left me land? Yes, near the stream. Good land. But Okafor claimed it after his death. Then I want it back. Chima nods. We will get it back, legally, properly. But before they can begin that fight, the village itself is hit by something bigger. The rains do not come. Week after week, the sky remains clear. The sun bakes the earth until it cracks. Crops wither. Wells run low. The cassava farms that feed the village begin to fail. Then the pests come, swarms of them, eating what little is left. Families begin to panic. Food prices triple. Mr. Okafor's debts are no longer his alone. Half the village is drowning. One morning, a convoy of cars arrives, government vehicles, NGO trucks, and behind them, a sleek black SUV with a logo on the side, Green Roots Agrotech Ltd. The entire village gathers under the big mango tree in the center square. Elders, farmers, women with babies on their backs, children peeking from behind legs. A government official steps forward, microphone in hand. We are here to announce a new agricultural partnership program. Green Roots Agrotech will establish a pilot processing plant in this region. It will bring jobs, water systems, better crop prices, and training for farmers. But we need land. Clean land. Legally owned, transparently managed. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. Mr. Okafor pushes to the front, loud as ever. I have land. My family has owned land for generations. I can provide whatever you need. The official nods politely. We will review all offers. Then one of the Green Roots representatives steps forward, a tall woman in a sharp suit. She glances at her phone, then looks at the crowd. Is there a Mr. Chima Nwankwo here? The crowd goes silent. Heads turn, eyes search. Chima, standing quietly at the back, raises his hand. The woman smiles. Sir, we are here as you instructed. Where would you like us to begin? The whispers explode like thunder. People who mocked him as the pauper carpenter watch as Green Root staff treat him not like security, not like labor, but like someone who gives orders. Mr. Okafor's face goes white. Wait, what? Chima, what is happening? Chima walks to the front, calm, unhurried. He is not wearing a suit. He's wearing the same simple trousers and shirt he always wears. But the way the officials step aside for him, the way the woman hands him a folder, it says everything. Good afternoon, everyone, Chima says, voice quiet but clear. Some of you know me, some of you do not. My name is Chima Nwankwo. I am a co-founder of Green Roots Agrotech. We are here to help. But we will not work with corruption. We will not work with stolen land. We will not work with people who treat others like tools. He looks directly at Mr. Okafor. This project will happen, but it will be built on honesty. The crowd erupts, questions, accusations, shock. Nkem watches from the side, heart pounding, seeing her husband in a new light, not just as the man who held her when she cried, but as someone who can change lives. Mr. Okafor tries to step forward, voice desperate. My in-law, my son, we are family. Surely we can work together. Chima's voice is ice. Family does not sell daughters. Family does not steal land from dead friends. If you want to be part of this project, you will need to prove your land is legally yours. Can you do that? Mr. Okafor's mouth opens, closes. He has no answer. The meeting continues. Plans are laid. Committees are formed. And for the first time in years, Umokwu has hope. That evening, as the sun sets, Nkem stands beside Chima, watching the Green Roots team set up tents for the week's work. You never told me you could do this, she says quietly. You never asked. She laughs, soft, real. I am asking now. He looks at her. I can do a lot of things, Nkem, but none of them matter if I do not have you beside me. Her heart stutters. It is the closest he has come to saying the words. And she realizes, standing there in the fading light, that she does not need him to say them. She already knows. If you've ever seen someone despised today, become the very person everyone runs to tomorrow. Tap like and tell me your story in the comments. The Green Roots project moves fast. Too fast for some. Surveyors arrive. Engineers walk the land, taking measurements. Farmers are called to meetings where they learn about contracts, fair pricing, and something called value chains. For a village that has always operated on handshakes and word of mouth, the sudden formality is both exciting and terrifying. But beneath the hope, old grudges stir. Mr. Okafor is spiraling. He sees his chance at redemption slipping through his fingers. He gathers a group of elders, men who owe him favors, men who fear change, and begins whispering in dark corners. That boy Chima thinks he is a god now. He comes here with his company and his money, and tells us how to live. This is our land, our village. Who is he to decide? One of the elders, an old man named Mazi Obi, shakes his head. But Okafor, the boy is trying to help. Jobs will come. Money will come. Help, Mr. Okafor laughs bitterly. He's trying to control us, and he is using my daughter to do it. The seed is planted. Slowly a faction forms, men who resent Chima's sudden authority, who see the project not as salvation, but as invasion. Mr. Okafor's next move is desperate. He goes to the Green Roots site office, a temporary tent near the mango tree, and tries to submit papers claiming the land near the stream, the land that once belonged to Nkem's real father, the land he stole. The site manager, a no-nonsense woman named Mrs. Adisa, reviews the documents. These papers are incomplete. The original deed holder was Chukwudi Okonkwo. Where is the legal transfer of ownership? Mr. Okafor stammers. He died. I took over. Family land. Do you have a will? A court order? Anything? He does not. Mrs. Adiza sets the papers aside. I cannot accept this. Bring proper documentation, or this land will not be considered. Mr. Okafor leaves, humiliated, angry. And that night, he makes a choice that will cost him everything. He gathers his faction and proposes something dangerous. They will go to the village council and demand that Nkem be questioned publicly. She is the key, he says. If we can prove she is controlling Chima, if we can make her look like a manipulator, maybe we can turn the village against them. It is a desperate, ugly plan, and it almost works. The next week, a village meeting is called, not by Green Roots, not by Chima, but by the elders, under pressure from Mr. Okafor's faction. The entire village gathers under the mango tree. Tension hangs in the air like smoke. Nkem stands beside Chima, confused. Why are they calling a meeting? I do not know, he says quietly. But stay close. Mazi Obi, the head elder, stands. We have gathered to discuss concerns about the Green Roots project. Some members of the community feel that decisions are being made without proper consultation. Mr. Okafor steps forward, emboldened. I have a question for Nkem. The crowd goes silent. Nkem's heart pounds. Nkem, her father says loudly, you were forced to marry Chima. Everyone knows this. Now suddenly, he has money and power, and you are by his side. Tell us the truth. Are you using this marriage to take revenge on your family? Are you manipulating your husband to punish me? Gasps ripple through the crowd. Nkem feels the ground tilt. Chima steps forward, fury in his eyes. How dare! But Nkem touches his arm. No. Let me. She steps forward, facing the crowd. Her voice shakes at first, then steadies. You want the truth? Here it is. She takes a breath. I was forced to marry Chima. My father sold me to pay his debts. I did not want this marriage. I cried every night for weeks. But do you know what I found? I found a man who treated me with more dignity in one day than my own father did in 21 years. Her father's face reddens. And yes, Nkem continues, voice rising, I discovered that Chima is not poor, that he built a company, that he has money and power. But do you know what else I discovered? That he chose to hide all of that because people like you, she points at her father, only see value in money. You cannot love a person. You can only love what they can give you. She turns to the crowd. This man, my husband, came back to this village to escape greed. And what did you do? You mocked him. You called him a nobody. You laughed at him for living in a mud house. And now that you need him, now that he can save you, suddenly he is your brother, your son, your in-law. Her voice breaks, but she does not stop. My father is right about one thing. I was not his daughter. My real father was a man named Chukwudi Okonkwo, a good man, an honest man, a man whose land my father stole after he died, a man whose daughter he kept like stolen property. The crowd erupts, whispers become shouts. Mr. Okafor tries to speak, but no one listens. Nkem raises her voice. I did not know any of this until weeks ago. I thought I was Okafor's daughter. I thought he had the right to sell me. But I was wrong. He had no right. He never did. She looks at Chima, then back at the crowd. I am not manipulating my husband. I am standing beside him. There is a difference. And if Green Roots only works with people who have clean hands and honest hearts, then maybe that is exactly what this village needs. Silence. Then Mama Ebere stands. This girl speaks the truth. I knew Chukwudi. I knew what happened to him. And I watched Okafor take everything, land, child, dignity. If anyone here wants to talk about manipulation, start with the man who sold a child that was never his. One by one, other voices join. Women who remember Chukwudi, men who saw the land transfer but stayed silent. Elders who knew but feared Mr. Okafor's anger. The head elder, Mazi Obi, raises his hand for silence. He looks at Mr. Okafor. Did you steal this man's land? Mr. Okafor's voice is small. I took care of it. After he died, someone had to. Did you have legal right? Silence. Then you will return it. To Nkem, the rightful heir. Mr. Okafor's legs give out. He sits hard on the ground, head in his hands. Mazi Obi turns to Chima. As for the Green Roots project, we trust you to lead it with wisdom, but we ask that you include the community. Let us work together, not as master and servants, but as partners. Chima nods. That is all I have ever wanted. The meeting ends. People disperse slowly, murmuring, processing. Nkem stands there, shaking, exhausted. Chima wraps his arm around her shoulders. You were amazing. I was terrified. Same thing. That night back at the compound, Mama Ebere makes tea. They sit together in silence for a long time. Then the older woman speaks. You did something today that most people never do. You took your power back, not with violence, not with revenge, with truth. Nkem wipes her eyes. I do not feel powerful. I feel tired. That is the price of freedom, my daughter. It is exhausting, but it is worth it. A few days later, official documents arrive. The land near the stream, the land that belonged to Nkem's father, is transferred back to her name, legally, properly. She holds the papers in her hands and cries, not from sadness, from relief. Chima stands beside her. What do you want to do with it? She thinks for a moment. I want to use it for the project, but not just for Green Roots. I want part of it to be a training center, a place where girls can come, girls like me, who were forced into marriages or sold by families. I want to teach them skills, give them options, let them know they are more than property. Chima smiles. Then let us build it together. Over the next weeks, the project takes shape. The processing plant site is cleared, jobs are posted. Farmers sign contracts, fair ones, reviewed by lawyers Green Roots brings in. Water boreholes are drilled. And on Nkem's land, construction begins on a small center with classrooms, sewing machines, and a library. Mr. Okafor watches from a distance, broken. His creditors have taken most of his remaining assets. Auntie Rose has left him, gone to live with her sister in another village. He is alone now, sitting under his mango tree, staring at nothing. One afternoon, Nkem visits him. She brings food, jollof rice, fried plantain, a piece of fish. She sets it beside him without a word. He looks up, surprised. Why? Because I choose to. I do not deserve this. No, you do not, but I am not doing this for you. I am doing it because I refuse to become like you. He stares at the food, then at her. His voice cracks. I'm sorry. The words are small, broken, but they are real. And Kem nods. I know. She does not stay. She turns and walks away. But the food remains. That evening, she tells Chima what she did. He listens, then says quietly, forgiveness does not mean foolishness. You can forgive someone and still protect yourself. I know. That is why I am not going back. I am just not carrying the hate anymore. He takes her hand. I am proud of you. She looks at him, really looks at him. And for the first time since this marriage began, she says the words she has been holding inside. I think I am falling in love with you. His eyes widen. You think? She laughs, tears in her eyes. I am terrible at this. I do not know how love is supposed to feel, but when I think about my future, you are in it. And that terrifies me and comforts me at the same time. He pulls her close. That is how love feels, like terror and comfort in the same breath. They sit together under the stars, two people who were thrown together by greed and lies, now choosing each other freely. If you believe forgiveness doesn't mean foolishness, and that setting boundaries is also love, tap a like and tell me, what would you have done in Nkem's shoes? 3 years later. Umuokwu is not the same village. The Green Roots processing plant stands near the main road, a clean, modern building with solar panels on the roof and a warehouse for storing crops. Farmers bring yams, cassava, maize, and the plant processes them into flour, chips, and packaged goods sold across the state. Jobs have come, not just for men, but for women and young people. The village has electricity now, not just from generators, but from a grid connected to the plant. Children go to school in new uniforms, funded by a scholarship program Nkem helped design. And on the land that once belonged to her father, her real father, Chukwudi, stands a training center. A modest building painted bright yellow with blue trim. Inside are sewing machines, computers, desks, and shelves full of books. The sign above the door reads, Chukwudi Memorial Center for Women and Girls. Nkem runs the center with a small team of teachers and counselors. Twice a week, she hosts workshops on financial literacy, vocational skills, and legal rights. And once a month, she holds a special session, just for girls who were forced into marriages or facing family pressure. She sits with them, holds their hands, and tells them her story, not to scare them, but to show them that survival is possible, that freedom is possible, that they are more than the sum of their family's debts. One Saturday afternoon, a frightened teenage girl is brought to the center by her mother. The girl is 16, eyes red from crying, hands shaking. Her mother is frantic. They want to marry her to a man in the next village. He is 45 years old. She does not want to go, but her father has already accepted the bride price. Nkem kneels beside the girl, looks into her eyes. What is your name? Chiamaka, the girl whispers. Chiamaka, listen to me. Your life is not a debt to be traded. Do you hear me? The girl nods, tears spilling. We will help you, but you have to decide. Do you want to fight for your freedom, or do you want to go quietly? Chiamaka looks at her mother, then back at Nkem. I want to fight. Good. Then let us fight together. Nkem connects them with a lawyer from Green Root's legal team. The case is taken up. The marriage is stopped. Chiamaka stays at the center for a few weeks, learning skills, finding her voice. When she finally goes home, she is different, not broken, but unbreakable. Her mother comes back weeks later, brings Nkem a basket of vegetables. "Thank you," she says, crying. "You saved my daughter." "No," Nkem says gently. "She saved herself. I just showed her the door." At home, Nkem's life has changed in ways she never imagined. The mud house has been expanded, not into a mansion, but into a solid, comfortable home with plastered walls, a metal roof, and rooms that do not leak when it rains. There is a small garden where Mama Abere grows vegetables. There is a workshop where Chima still builds furniture, not because he has to, but because he loves it. And in the corner of the yard, under a mango tree, sits a small child, a boy, 3 years old, with his father's calm eyes and his mother's sharp mind. His name is Chukudi, after the grandfather he will never meet, but whose legacy he carries. Nkem watches him play, a smile tugging at her lips. Chima comes up behind her, wraps his arms around her waist. "What are you thinking about? How strange life is. I was forced into this marriage. I hated it. I cried every night. And now..." She turns to look at him. "Now I cannot imagine being anywhere else." He kisses her forehead. "God hides crowns inside clay." "What?" "Something my father used to say. The most valuable things are often hidden in the most ordinary places. You were my crown, Nkem. I just had to wait for you to see it." She laughs, wipes her eyes. "You are so dramatic." "I learned from the best." They stand together, watching their son chase a lizard across the yard, laughing when it escapes into the grass. That evening, news comes that Mr. Okafor has fallen seriously ill. Malaria, complicated by years of drinking and stress. He is in the village clinic, alone. Auntie Rose has not returned. His relatives have abandoned him. Nkem hears the news and feels nothing. No anger, no satisfaction. Just a quiet sadness for a man who chose greed over love and is now paying the price. "Do you want to visit him?" Chima asks. She thinks for a long moment. "Yes, but not to gloat. Just to close the door properly." They go together the next day. The clinic is small, poorly equipped, smelling of disinfectant and suffering. Mr. Okafor lies on a narrow bed, thinner than Nkem remembers, skin gray, eyes sunken. He sees her and tries to sit up. "Nkem, do not move," she says quietly. She sits in the chair beside the bed. Chima stands near the door, giving them space. "I did not think you would come," her father whispers. "I almost did not." He closes his eyes. "I was wrong. About everything. I see that now. I know. Can you forgive me?" She looks at him, this man who stole her childhood, sold her future, and justified it all with fear and greed. And she realizes something. Forgiveness is not about him. It never was. "I already forgave you," she says. "Years ago. Not because you deserved it, but because I needed to be free." He nods weakly. "I'm sorry." "I know." She stands, looks at him one last time. "I will pay for your treatment, not because you are my father, but because I choose mercy. That is the difference between you and me. You chose greed. I choose mercy." She leaves. Chima follows. Outside, the sun is setting, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple. "Are you all right?" he asks. "Yes, I am finally all right." Weeks later, Mr. Okafor recovers enough to leave the clinic. He is not the man he was, loud, proud, demanding. He is quiet now, broken. He lives in a small room at the back of a relative's compound, does small jobs for food, keeps to himself. One day he walks past the Chukwudi Memorial Center and sees Nkem teaching a class of young girls. He stands at the gate, watching. She does not see him, but he sees her, confident, strong, free. He turns and walks away, carrying the weight of his choices like stones in his pockets. The years continue to pass. The village grows. The Green Roots Project expands to neighboring communities. Nkem is invited to speak at conferences about women's empowerment and agricultural development. She travels with Chima, stands on stages, tells her story to rooms full of strangers who cry and clap and ask, "How did you survive?" And every time she gives the same answer: "I did not survive alone. I had people who saw me when I could not see myself, and I decided that I was worth more than the price someone else put on me." One evening, years later, Nkem and Chima sit on their veranda, watching the sun set over the village. Their son, Chukwudi, is now 10, reading a book under the mango tree. Beside him is his younger sister, Ebere, named after Mama Dayo, who passed peacefully 2 years ago, surrounded by love. Nkem leans her head on Chima's shoulder. "Do you ever regret it? Leaving the city? Hiding who you were?" He thinks for a moment. "No, because hiding brought me you, and you brought me back to myself." She smiles. "That is the most romantic thing you have ever said." "I am learning." They sit in comfortable silence, watching the sky change colors. In the distance, the Green Roots plant hums with life. The training center glows with lamplight as evening classes begin. And somewhere in the village, a girl who was about to be sold into marriage is learning that her life is her own. Nkem closes her eyes and whispers a prayer, not of desperation, like the ones she prayed years ago, but of gratitude. "Thank you," she says quietly, "for hiding crowns inside clay, for making beauty out of ashes, for showing me that the person I looked down on was the one sent to lift me up." Chima squeezes her hand, and together they watch the stars emerge, one by one, like promises kept. Because homes are not built by chandeliers, they are not built by imported marble or custom gowns or champagne towers. They are built by choices, the ones you make when no one is looking, and the ones you make when everyone is. Character is the foundation. Everything else is just decoration. And in the end, love is not found in the loudest voices or the biggest bank accounts. It is found in the quiet moments, in a hand that steadies you when you shake, in a voice that speaks truth when everyone else lies, in a partner who sees you not as property, but as a person. Nkem was forced into a marriage she never wanted. But through the pain, through the lies, through the breaking and the rebuilding, she found something more valuable than gold. She found herself. And in finding herself, she found a love that was not forced, not bought, not traded, but freely given and freely received. And that, more than anything, is what makes a house a home. If this story touched your heart and you believe no one should be forced into a marriage they don't want, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and tell me in the comments, what lesson are you taking away for your own life or family?